My name is Trena Walker. This was my stomping ground when I was homeless. This is where I made my money. This is where I slept. I was homeless for approximately 8 years. I've been a cocaine addict since I was 16 years old. My habit got to be about $350 to $400 a day. I would lie, steal, borrow. I did whatever I had to do to support my habit, which grew day by day.
It wasn't always this way for Trena Walker. She worked as a trusted nanny for a family here in Charleston.
Trena worked with us then as a nanny for a couple of years. Toward the end of the time that she was working with us was when we realized that things were completely amiss.
I was doing a lot of powder cocaine. I was stealing money from the family. I was cashing their checks, using their credit cards, and it went on for a while before they actually realized how much money I had actually taken from them.
On top of the addiction, Trena got pregnant. To be pregnant and addicted in South Carolina is a bad combination. State law mandates that pregnant women who use drugs can be thrown in jail under child abuse laws.
The state court has ruled that the word child includes a viable fetus, which is a definition of the word child that's not been accepted by any other Supreme Court in the United States. As a social policy, they thought it's a good idea for women not to take drugs while pregnant, and it's a good idea to arrest them to encourage them to not do it.
Susan Dunn is not only a mother of 2 children, she is a lawyer as well. She disagrees with the state law.
I've never been involved in a case where almost consistently everybody thought that I was on the wrong side. Like, how could you possibly be supportive of a pregnant woman with a drug problem? If you could establish that a woman had used drugs when she was pregnant, then she was a bad mother. We had her labeled as a bad mother, and we know how to deal with that.
Trena Walker was arrested early in her pregnancy for cocaine possession and sent here. Luckily for her, a pregnancy test she was given at the prison came up negative.
At least it's theoretically possible that she would have been arrested during the pregnancy and forced to spend the rest of the pregnancy in jail. That could have happened.
I went to her and said, Susan, I do not know what to do. Help me.
Just finding a place that would take Trena when she was pregnant and was not easy. The Chrysalis Center in Florence ended up being a place that not only was willing to take her, but that really considered her homelessness a real reason why they should take her.
Trena was able to stay out of the clutches of what critics say is a misguided law because it imprisons addicted mothers instead of giving them treatment.
When you look at a mother's pathway to incarceration, it begins first with experiencing physical and sexual violence, and then self-medicating either to meth or to crack cocaine or heroin as a way to numb the pain and the injury of being sexually violated. And unfortunately, when mothers suffer from addiction, they have very few places to go to heal. So most treatment programs in the U.S. do not accept pregnant and parenting mothers.
And that profile fits Trena Walker perfectly. Her mother was an addict who spent time in prison. Trena was put into foster care and then adopted and abused.
The adopted family was very dysfunctional. There was a lot of abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. I left when I was 15 because I couldn't stand the sexual abuse anymore.
Mothers who are suffering with very, very serious issues of physical and sexual violence, very serious issues of mental health and substance abuse disorders because of that violence, are not given the help, the opportunity to heal, to be strong and stable and raise their children. Instead, we have relied on the broken systems of foster care and criminal justice as ways of caring for our families.
The baby's father and I had a plan that I would not give birth to Miles in South Carolina. that we would go to another state. Because of the knowing that in my 3rd trimester, if I test positive anywhere in there, the state is going to arrest me and they're going to take my child upon birth. And I know a lot of women who do not get prenatal care because they know the state is going to take their child.
The same South Carolina law which mandates locking up addicted pregnant women also states that healthcare providers must report them to the state.
What it meant for us as addiction counselors is now if a woman came in for help in her 3rd trimester and said that she was using a substance, including alcohol, we had to report that to the state authorities.
What if you didn't?
We would be in violation of the law and could be prosecuted ourselves.
Trena managed to stay out of the prison system thanks to proper treatment, a will to make a better life for herself, and a love for her baby boy, Miles.
Miles is the most wonderful creation to me that there ever was. He is a true gift, and I will do everything in my power to let him be the compassionate, caring, loving man that he deserves to grow to be.
But despite being clean and living a better life with her son, Trena lives in constant fear.
My greatest fear is the state of South Carolina. Through being homeless, through being a woman, through being an African American, and through being an addict, I've seen some things in this state that aren't appropriate, and nobody should be discriminated against.
Trena is still afraid because it's sort of like she even though she's done a really good job, she's still got the scarlet A on her forehead. So any little slip is going to be used, she's fearful, is going to be used and could be used, against her.
Today, Trena remains a model for how addicted mothers can survive and provide a healthy future for themselves and their children. She wishes other mothers at the margins would be given the same chance.
They're fighting for their children, or they've given up any hope of ever having their children, which will only lead them deeper into the drug world. We do drugs so that we don't feel, whether it be happy or sad. So something as serious as taking the child from its mother, that's not a position any mother should be in, and especially these mothers who are looking for help. I'm not talking about the closet drug addicts. I'm talking about the mothers who are saying, look, I have this disease. I have the disease of addiction, and I'm pregnant. Help me make a different life for my child.